There has been substantial growth in the use of Ripple and XRP. Concerning the falling price of XRP, I am cognizant of the expected criticisms. You must understand that this is directly related to Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin's current state and offering your thoughts on its performance can soothe your discontent with XRP's present pricing and performance. A new all-time high has been achieved by the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to dominate the market even as its value is rising. Until we separate from Bitcoin-driven markets, altcoin values will probably stay quite stable. After we untether from Bitcoin, it is critical to keep an eye on things that could cause price adjustments. Bitcoin keeps me dedicated and focused on the basics. Many of you may be experiencing strong emotions right now, and I totally get that. I hope XRP reaches $10, 0 cents soon. After all, who wouldn't want to see XRP reach a new peak and take off? I get where you're coming from, but let's not get too caught up in our feelings, negative feelings and frustration about changes in pricing, particularly with regard to utility-based projects like XRP. We are seeing enormous shifts in this industry. But since RLUSD's market is still in its infancy, I want to talk about it first. One thing that bothers me about RLUSD is how dependent it is on Ethereum instead of the XRP ecosystem. Undoubtedly, Ethereum has a great deal of sway. In comparison to the XRP record, RLUSD has risen more than before. At the moment, this has little to no effect on XRP. In my opinion, the goal of the EVM sidechain is to facilitate RLUSD's ability to link Ethereum with the XRP system. As these improvements take effect on the XRP ledger, Gemini has made it possible to trade ROUSD with the ability to make payments and withdrawals, which is great. And they have also helped institutional DeFi projects a lot. Gemini is clearly a big exchange, one of the biggest in its field. I had already noticed a small drop on the XRP ledger in relation to ROUSD. I am not pleased with the substantial loss that we have experienced. We have gone through about 94.5 million, leaving us with about 39.5 million. The current supply of ERC20 or VLA-based ROUSD is at 250 million, which is a significant increase over the previous record for XRP on Ethereum. Nevertheless, I will show you one specific thing that I want to emphasize. You can see the addresses used and held every month in this video. Curiously, there are more ROUSD addresses active on the XRP ledger each month than there are ROUSD users on Ethereum. Moreover, the XRP ledger is home to 287K ROUSD holders. The monthly transfer volume is now visible, which is notable when compared to 2.5K on the ROUSDD. Even though the total circulating and bridge token supplies on the XRP ledger have all been decreasing, this finding remains valid, with an increase of more than 20% or 3% in the last 30 days. The monthly transfer amount is now at a whopping somewhere around $337 million, 0 cents. It would be great if ROUSD in the XRP system went up, but this is significant because the monthly transfer volume is still up by 47%. Raro's doing very well. It doesn't matter to me if it uses the XRP system or Ethereum. So please listen to my logic. Ripple doesn't have to sell XRP because stablecoins like ROUSD bring in money. Therefore, the present price standstill of XRP is completely without rationale until significant profits are made from ROUSD, which I expect will take more time. Concerns about XRP's value falling will remain. When it comes to holders, we can see that as the number of XRP holders has increased dramatically in comparison to Ethereum. Furthermore, we have watched the processes of burning and minting. The XRP ledger has seen an uptick in the amount of active accounts. May see a little drop, but the month is far from over. I shall keep an eye on this as the month comes to a close. We can see how much data is being sent. The XRP system is also undergoing a great deal of change. It is worth mentioning that the XRP ledger's deep freeze function, which is intended for token issuance instead of XRP, is currently operational. Compliance with rules, prevention of fraud, enforcement of punishments, and facilitation of token production are all facilitated by this functionality's fundamental controls. Major players must prioritize this because it can be used by institutions. The XRP ledger's deep freeze has made it easier for institutions to manage their assets. A lot of people have taken notice of Max Avery's film. I won't show his film, but if the chance presents itself, I think you should definitely watch it. However, the main points in Mac's summarization align with the best way to package this by using deep freeze. Producers can immobilize the entire system and secure all tokenized assets at once. With this new capabilities, banks and other financial institutions can stop any fraud in progress, comply with regulations quickly, and keep XRP liquid and secure. This change is really helpful. Tokenization efforts are progressing, which is great news for the community and Ripple's goal. Also, we heard from the Chief Operating Officer of XRP Ledger Labs and Zameen Wallet with updates. Surprisingly, the chain's trade volume was remarkable in April, with over 200 million XRP worth $200 million, 0 cents, transacted simply in payments. When done by hand with the Zameen wallet, this is just incredible. Put simply, it represents the growth of the XRP community. The XRP system is becoming more important, and we can't ignore it when we think about SafeCoin projects. The environmental impact of this development is substantial. Therefore, I am keeping a careful eye on it. With more and more people joining the network, the community is growing, which is a good sign for XRP's usage. The central asset, XRP, stands to benefit from this scenario. Furthermore, Ripple published a substantial report in which Brad Garlinghouse highlighted the very successful first quarter of 2019 for Ripple, which included dealings with the SEC and the acquisition of Hidden Road. Now that the case is over, XRP and ETPs are attracting attention from international institutions. Because of this, there will be some changes to the XRP markets report. Some may remember that these reports were started in 2017 with the